All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to break down an incredible survival guide for anyone in their first few years of consulting. And this isn't just theory. This comes from 108 different tips from consultants who are living it right now. We've distilled it all into a powerful framework for not just surviving, but really thriving. This could seriously change how you look at your entire career.
Okay, so the whole thing, the entire framework, is built on this one powerful idea. And I know what you're thinking. It sounds totally backwards, right? Especially for a high-pressure field like consulting. We're always told to grind, to hustle, to put the job first. But this guide says, nope, that's the fast track to burnout. The real secret? It's about flipping that script completely.
And to explain this, they use this really cool analogy from the manga Hunter x Hunter. In the story, there's this group called the Phantom Troop, or the Spider. And the rule is, the leader can die, but the spider must survive. Think about it. Your career? That's the leader. It can change, it might even fail. But your life, your health, your relationships, your sanity, that's the spider. It has to survive. So protecting your life isn't selfish. It's the actual strategy that saves your career in the long run.
So, how do we actually do this? Well, it all starts with the first pillar, which is your mindset. It's all about making a huge shift in what you choose to focus on right from the very beginning. You know how it is when you're starting out. It's so easy to get obsessed with the external stuff. Am I at a Tier 1 firm? Is this brand prestigious enough? According to the folks who wrote this guide, that is a total waste of your time and energy. What actually matters? Forget the tier list. Find a great manager. Forget the brand name. Find a solid team you can learn from. And forget prestige. Focus on the actual skills you're building every single day. That's the game. Now, to make that shift, you've got to get good at something called unlearning, or in Japanese, unlearn. This idea came up a ton, and it's not about just forgetting what you know. It's about consciously realizing, hey, the game has changed, and the playbook that got me here, it might not work anymore.
And here's the key. You can't unlearn something if you don't even realize you're doing it. The process actually starts by saying it out loud, literally verbalizing, I used to do it this way. When you do that, you create this mental separation. It helps you see why the new way is better, so you can adapt with purpose instead of just fighting the change. Okay, so we've got the mindset down. Now let's move on to the second pillar, the daily actions. This is where we turn that thinking into doing. These are the small, consistent things that build trust and get the ball rolling. All right, here's the situation I think we've all been in. You've got a question, you're not totally sure about something, and you really don't want to bother your super busy manager. So what's the move? Do you spend 20 minutes writing the perfect email? Or do you just pick up the phone? The answer from pretty much every top performer is loud and clear. Just call. Don't hide behind your keyboard. The thinking here is that even a 1-minute conversation is incredibly valuable. It cuts through the noise, builds a connection, and gets you the answer you need way, way faster. And this whole idea of speed is absolutely critical. This tip, called sokuresu, or immediate response, came up again and again in the source material. Just responding quickly, even if it's a simple, got it, looking into it now, is how you start building trust. When you hesitate, it just creates doubt and makes it seem like you're not on top of things. This next one is such a brilliant learning hack. It's called the complete copy, or marugoto kankopi. The idea is simple. Find a senior person you really admire. Then just observe everything they do. How they talk, how they write emails, how they run a meeting, and then you intentionally try to copy the things that make them effective. It's like a shortcut to leveling up your own skills. So we have our mindset, we have our actions, but none of that happens in a bubble, right? That brings us to the final pillar, which is all about proactively building the relationships that are going to power your career. And there's this great term for this strategy, in-fight, or in-fighto. It's a boxing term, right? A boxer gets in close to land effective punches. In your career, it means you have to intentionally close that professional distance between you and your mentors or bosses. Don't be shy. Don't wait for an invitation. Get in there. So why is this in-fight strategy so powerful? Well, for one, you get more and better opportunities simply because people think of you first. You get feedback that's faster and more direct. You build real mentorships, not just professional acquaintances. You become that go-to, reliable person. Look, this isn't about sucking up or playing politics. It's about smart positioning. It's about putting yourself right in the middle of where the action is. Okay, so we've covered the mindset, the actions, and the connections. Let's pull all these threads together now and look at the engine that really drives all of this growth.
Now, just think back to where we started. This whole explainer is based on 108 different pieces of advice, tips and tricks from consultants on everything from how to make a better slide to how to manage a client.
108 pieces of wisdom, but what's really amazing is that they all point back to one single central idea. It's the same idea we kick things off with, and honestly, it's the most important thing to take away from all of this.
And it all boils down to this one question you have to ask yourself. Is your job serving your life, or is your life serving your job? Every single choice you make, from what you obsess over to whether you pick up the phone, is basically your answer. See, thriving in your career isn't about burning yourself out for the job. It's about building a job that actually supports the life you want to live, and that is the real secret.